John, you are recording the meeting, right?
Yeah, I just started. It's cool.
Okay. Well, John just started recording the meeting, so he'll upload the recording too, and we'll make sure that everyone is able to view it.
Yep.
All right, John.
All right. Yeah. So as Guhan mentioned earlier, you guys are going to be making your algorithm in Python using QuantConnect. So right now, I'm just going to give you guys a few useful libraries that will most likely come in handy during the course of making your algorithm. For starters, we have the end-all be-all ultimate algorithm for anything related to quant finance, data science using Python. It is called pandas. As opposed to the cute bears, pandas in Python is basically a library that allows you to use the almighty data frame. What is a data frame? A data frame, quite simply, is a data structure that is akin to an Excel table. I have an example at the bottom there. So a data frame consists of an index and columns. The way it basically works is each, I guess, columns. Yeah, each row. Yeah, no, I did great in linear algebra, as you can see. Each row has some sort of index value that associates it to a value in a column. On the bottom, we see 0, 1, and 2. And then each column containing stocks that are within a certain basket I have labeled for fun corresponds to, one value in the column. For example, if I wanted to say, get me the Hamath stock at index 0, it would return CLOV, Clover Health, or something like that. If I were to say, okay, get me the tech stock at index 2, it's Amazon. You get the gist. The big thing that you guys are going to notice when you use Python, Pandas specifically, with your training algorithms, the index for all your data will be open, close, volume, whatever the hell you want to use, will be a time period. This is basically akin to a time series, for those of you who know what that is. So the reason that Pandas is extremely popular is that it is a very efficient way to store your data. And as we will see in the next few slides, there's a lot of capabilities that you can do with Pandas that are fast, efficient, and effective. Next slide, please. Here are a few things you can do. For one, it's really easy to combine your data sets. Let's say you got from the QuantConnect database, we're able to output the open, close, and volume of Facebook. All right, and then let's say that you also got the open, close, volume, and whatnot of Google, and you wanted to directly analyze Facebook and Google in a comparison to each other. In this case, it might help to take your data frame containing your Google data and that which contains Facebook's data and append them onto one. As you see on the slide, there is some built-in functionality to help you with that. In this example, I basically take two more rows, they're called, yes. I basically added two more rows to each column by creating another data frame with them. The concat function is super easy to understand, it just concatenates one data frame to another. You can see the output at the bottom there. The other super helpful thing is the indexing capabilities of pandas. You see there's three different ways to index values in your data frame and access them. On the right side, there's index location, which basically you look at the number at a certain index. In this case, we use 2, so it returns the item indexed with 2 for each data frame, for each column in the data frame. Another thing, you can basically directly call a column name, as you see there, and it just returns everything in that column. This is extremely useful whenever you're working with these data frames. You're working with data. Let's say you want to pull out the price data for Facebook. Boom. One very short line of Python later, you got all of it. It really comes in handy later on with your algorithms. Keeps things so smooth and so easy. Then, of course, at the end, I basically show you that if you want to get a certain index from a certain column, that's how you do it. Next slide, please. The second most important library you guys will be using is NumPy. NumPy is basically just a math package for Python. It lets you do tons of cool stuff. A few examples I gave is linear algebra, statistics, calculus. Here we see some examples, like just to leave a few, I made an array, found the dot product, the determinant, the left side, and it does all of this like super quickly. If I were to do the determinant of the matrix M, I'd be sitting here for like a minute or two, and that would just be annoying. I'd also show you some of the statistics capabilities. The package really just has so much different stuff that you can use. It is very, linear algebra based in some sense, in that the data types that you'll be using oftentimes are arrays, matrices, etc. And also it's very compatible with data frames because they basically are just giant matrices. Right side, yeah, we have some of the statistics capabilities, a lot of built-in functionality, a lot of stuff you can code yourself using what's built in, etc. Next slide, please. And here's an example of it being compatible with pandas. In this case, we basically create a data frame using the lovely number, or transcendentalist, if you want to get technical, pi. This isn't a normal Python thing. We had to use NumPy to make a data frame. So this is just one example of their easy cross-compatibility and the usefulness of using NumPy and pandas. Next slide, please. Another library that you may find very important, really depends on how you want to do this, is TSA. So there is a very large library in Python called stats models. It has to do with all things statistics, to be honest with you. Tons of different capabilities from this model, from this library. And here's just one example, time series analysis. Earlier on, when I was talking about data frames, I mentioned how for a lot of your stock data, it'll be indexed with time. So that's basically, oh, sorry about that. So that basically translates into I guess you can call it data set. Words are semantics. But that basically translates into something called a time series, which is simply a collection of data indexed by time for easy purposes. So in this case, I showed you guys a few functions from this time series analysis library. So the exact models and functions I ran are kind of irrelevant. I'll teach you guys about it later. But this whole slide is basically just to show you that this library can do a whole lot of jazz with statistics, with time series modeling. Personally, my team used a lot of time series analysis in our algorithm last year. And I find that it's something that's extremely useful to learn. And if you apply it to stock data, you're going to have some good results a lot of the time. Next slide, please. Another great library is SciPy. This is pretty similar to NumPy. The main difference I find is it's a bit more robust, especially in terms of calculus operations. So I showed you, again, like some statistics operations, like finding a normal CDF, the inverse of a matrix, etc. Next slide, please. Is that it?
Yeah, that's all.
Oh, there. I think our slide got cut off. That's all right. But other advantage of SciPy is it's useful for optimization algorithms. You want to find the derivative of a function, etc. It can do that really quickly. Altogether, it's just a great mathematical tool to have at your disposal. So that's about it for the introduction to all these libraries I wanted to give to you tonight. Now, before we close things off and open the door to questions, I wanted to give you guys a little bit more information about how we will continue to communicate with you all throughout the challenge.
John, real quick, 1 second, sorry. So guys, I know that there are a lot of libraries, a lot of it is math-based or stats-based. If you haven't taken these courses, don't be worried. You don't really need to know exactly what's happening. It's helpful if you do. I will be honest with you, it is helpful if you do, but it's not required. It's not like you need to know it in order to use it. As long as you understand what it does, that's all you really need. And we've tried to create the team so that you have a few people there that can help you out with it. And anyway, if you ever have any questions or if you do want to try something and you're not sure, you can always reach out to John or me.
We'll always be here to help you with anything. If you're trying to understand a new algorithm or basically anything in this competition, you need help figuring out what's wrong with your code or whatnot, reach out to us. Paul will be able to help you. It may take maybe like a few hour delay before we respond, but believe me, we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And yeah, to Guhan's point, when I went into this challenge last year, I was a freshman. I didn't take any classes related to any of this. I was in linear algebra that year. And I didn't know anything about time series analysis, probability theory. I took AP stat, that was it. So all of this stuff, we're going to present it to you in a way that you can gain an understanding, even if the highest math class you've taken is calculus 1 or calculus 2 or whatever. Well, to Guhan's point, you don't have to know these functions inside and out. All you need to do is be able to use them and understand why you're using them. So that being said, So for this year's competition, in order to communicate with all of you, we're going to be using Discord. For those of you who do not have Discord, it's super easy to sign up for an account. It's free. You can download the app right onto your computer or phone, etc. And the main advantage of this is it's just so much better than GroupMe. I don't even have time to go into all the reasons why it is. But so here is a link to join it in the chat. And that's it for the Discord. One last thing that I will mention. So each of your teams is going to need to designate a project manager, sort of like a captain, but it's not really that a term officially. So basically what this project manager will do is they will kind of be the main point of contact between Guhan and myself and your team. You can all reach out to us, but the project managers who are going to reach out to every now and then if we have something specific to ask your team as a whole. Also, with any kind of team or organization, it's always good to have someone who has some sort of leadership role to steady the boat and make sure that everyone's on track. So that being said, please let us know who is your project manager in the next few days. And I'll turn it back over to Guhan real quick.
Yeah, guys, I'll just quickly make an announcement. We plan on having our next meeting in this upcoming Thursday. So that's day after tomorrow, probably the same time. That's not 100% confirmed yet. We'll message you with the times. But it is going to be, it's more than likely going to be this coming Thursday. I think that's everything from us. We're going to open it up to questions now. Let us know if you have any questions, please. You can unmute yourself, you can raise your hand, you can type it out in the chat. Anything is fine with us.
Hi, thanks for your presentation. I'm really excited. I just wanted to ask, what week will group presentations begin?
We're aiming for next Thursday. It kind of depends on how the next meeting goes. And then also how the teams are responding to that. But we're aiming for next Thursday as our first presentation round. Not this coming Thursday. The question is, are we presenting anything on Thursday? Not the coming Thursday, no. Are there more in-depth tutorials online about using these libraries?
Yes, there are, and I will send a bunch of YouTube links, documentation, etc., out to you guys as well. At the same time, if there's ever any library you run across, if you search it up on YouTube, 9 times out of 10, you'll find a video tutorial. Otherwise, there's always going to be stuff online, or just straight up, if you want to read the documentation, be my guest.
Okay, we are getting a few questions. Do all teams present on Thursdays? We're going to work around your schedule. We prefer if you can present on Thursdays, that's going to give preference, and we're going to give you a little more leeway with that. But I know there are some people who work on Thursdays, or they might have a class, so we'll work around your schedule for that. Are you going to go over how to set up the platform? Yes, yes. That's on Thursday.
Yes, so Thursday we'll go over the platform. And either on Thursday or some point by the end of this weekend, we will also send out a little video for you guys to reference of how to use Quant Connect, because it can be a little intimidating and confusing at first. Also, before I forget, in addition to the stuff we tell you, Quant Connect actually has a whole entire tutorial on their website of how to use Quant Connect. So if you ever need to reference other information aside from what we gave you, the website most likely will have it. Worst case scenario, if you Google your question, there's a huge Q&A community feed on Quant Connect about how to do just about anything.
Will there be a presentation this Thursday? John and I will be presenting. We're not expecting you to present anything. Does Quant Connect let you use any Python package?
So Quant Connect lets you use a lot of Python packages, but there are a few that you won't be able to import. Nothing really major. It just some more niche Python packages won't be usable on Quant Connect. The reason is the way the website's designed, they have to whitelist a package for you to be able to use it. So if it's something that no one uses, they're not really going to take the time to, what should we call it, whitelist it. So for your example of TensorFlow, I would definitely bet a lot of money that they do allow TensorFlow.
Are you presenting this Thursday? Again, John and I will be presenting this Thursday. We don't expect, the participants will not be presenting this Thursday. we highly recommend you still come to the meeting because we are setting up. We will be setting up Quant Connect, or show you how to set up Quant Connect. That's it. I got confused there for a second. Sorry. Do we have any other questions? What are we presenting on next Thursday? How far along are we expected to be on our algorithms by next Thursday? Really good questions. We're not 100% sure how far we expect you to be far along in the algorithms. It's not going to be very advanced. We just want on, so let me explain what we're going to present on Thursday. We're going to explain different type of trading strategies so that you have an idea of what you could implement and you can look into what you want to pursue. What we probably will expect from there is for you to have that basic idea, why you chose that idea, and maybe like a line or two of code implementing that idea a little bit. Not much more than that, probably not much more than that. John, do you have anything to add to that? You're on mute.
Yeah, I realized too late.
Okay.
All I have to add is we understand, like, you know, we're all busy. We don't expect you guys to have a full-fledged algorithm coded with a backtest and all that. Even if you haven't gone around to starting coding your algorithm, if you're still figuring out Quant Connect and all that, we understand. We're not going to hold it against you. We don't really expect anyone to have like a full algorithm done. And if you do, like, I mean, I'll be impressed, but like, you know,
No, if
it's
you
not
do,
really
if
criteria.
you do, we expect you to do even better going on. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you have an algorithm now, like by the time that we're done, you better have an alpha of at least 200 and your beta better be 0 or else.
Yeah, but so what are some of the trading strategies you guys will cover this Thursday? Can we cover it on Thursday?
Yeah,
I'm
well,
so sorry.
you guys will find out Thursday. What I can tell you is it'll be a lot of useful information and common trading algorithms. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be to be announced. Join us next week on Dragon Ball SQC to find out.
Hey, is there a place where we can watch this recording again? We're going to send it out to you. Yeah, so email, probably.
Yeah.
We're not going to put, we don't have plans to post it on the QFC website, so we're not sure yet. How long should we expect each meeting to last? The ones where we are presenting, 45 minutes, right? Probably not too much more than that.
I doubt it'll ever run over that. Yeah.
The ones where you guys are presenting, keep it short. Try to keep it short. Make sure you cover the information. We have quite a few teams this year, so it'll kind of just depend on you guys, honestly. So if you're presenting, maybe in an hour to an hour 30, depending on how quickly you guys can go through. Can you go over the rubrics on which our algorithms will be judged? Yes, we will, not today, but we will go over that. We'll probably start, we might present it on Thursday.
And we will also, we will send the rubrics through the Discord so all of you have them for future reference. Also, like this presentation and all that, we'll send it via email and also it'll be on Discord for easy access. Yeah, so you'll have all those resources available to you.
Are all meetings for SQC going to be over Zoom? Most likely. We're really sorry. I would love to have it in person. It's just too time consuming. And I know some people here can't make it. They're commuters or you're working late. There's just too many factors for us. So we're going to keep it on Zoom. We're going to try to have maybe 1 or 2 in person. I know that some people want to meet other people, so we'll try for that. But most of them are going to be online.
Yeah. Also, like Rutgers, you know, they're not the easiest people to allow clubs to be in person. So we'll do what we can.
Yeah. There's just a lot of stuff we got to figure out too. Do we have any other questions?
When can we expect? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
When can we expect to know when the next meeting will be? Like, as in, when do we receive the email about next meeting?
We'll try to send it at least a day in advance.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you an hour before the meeting that we have a meeting today.
Okay.
We're not going to do that. Yeah. The next meeting will definitely be this Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys
Anything
gonna
else?
join the QFC general meeting tonight?
After this,
Yeah.
John, are you gonna go?
I don't think I can. I have something I have to deal with after this, so.
Okay. I will try, but I have an exam too, so probably
Okay.
not, honestly. Are there any details to this challenge? I'm not sure what you mean. John Lang, can you go over your question again, please? Like written out objectives and rules. Okay, we have objectives. We don't really have rules. Again, it's more like guidelines.
We have one rule,
Oh.
don't curve fit. What curve fitting is basically you fit your algorithm to run perfectly in this back test on historical data. So if we catch you doing that, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't find out.
Yeah, most of the objectives are going to be like, again, number one is that you're learning and that you can show us that you're learning. That's our number one objective here. And again, we'll show you the rubric. We'll send it to you guys soon. So
You guys will know everything you need to do ahead of time, so don't worry about it. Anything else? Anyone else got any questions? Oh,
can you guys
yes.
describe the kinds of algorithms that made it to the final rounds last year?
Yes, we can. All right. I can go from first to third place. First place was machine learning. They did a lot of Markov chain stuff. I don't remember what else. I mean, that was basically the gist of it. They used Markov chains to predict when the S&P would go up or down. Second place, I couldn't even tell you what the hell it was. It was some like physics stuff that like graduate level physics students learn about. I couldn't even, I don't even ask me, honestly. That's all I can say. I probably can pull it up later and find the actual words for it. Third place was probability distributions. And let me see the good way to describe it. Basically, it was a momentum-based pairs trading algorithm that used probability distributions and a few other things. I can't even remember, and I'm the one who coded it, so it's kind of sad. But yeah, we can probably supply you with some of the top 3 presentations later on, so you guys have an idea of what went down. We'll put them in Discord eventually, probably like weekend-ish. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Also, we can probably get even up past year's top 3 presentations.
Oh.
I can find them. Yeah, I have access to like everything, so I'll get it out.
I know John used a lot of fancy words there. In case you didn't follow something, don't worry about it. That's why we're doing the challenge. We're going to go over that stuff with you. Riza, in case you're wondering, pairs trading is one of those type of algorithms that we'll be talking, one of the strategies that we'll be talking about next meeting. So if you want to look into that. And then John also mentioned machine learning. We'll talk about that. That team kind of was really skilled to pull it off, honestly.
Yeah, they all met in the IEEE machine learning division, and one of them was a division lead. So yeah,
you gotta be.
Who are they?
What is the names again? What's his name? The division lead. I want to say his name was like Devin or something. I can't remember the rest of their names, but one of them might have been named Devin.
We can check and get back to you.
Yes, Devin Gulati, that's the name. Yeah.
So what are the members of winning teams doing right now?
Ooh. Right now, I'm guessing homework or coding. Don't we know what this is?
In general, I don't know actually. Do you have any idea, John?
I can just check I'll check their LinkedIn's. That's all I could think of.
Yeah. We'll send you, if you want, we'll send you the list and you can reach out. You could reach out to them. I don't know if they're gonna be responsive, honestly. Most of them were sophomores or juniors, so they're gonna be juniors or seniors this year. Yeah. So they're probably taking juniors and senior classes. And they probably had some type of internship last year. Yeah, I just want to know in terms of career advancements, dude, they're our age. So like whatever we're doing, someone probably had an internship and someone was probably doing research
Yes,
and
I can't-
someone was
yes,
working
I
on like
can't
a
tell
home
you.
project.
I do know that one guy had like a machine learning research internship. Sorry, once, yeah. So I know he's doing pretty well for himself in that regard.
You don't have to win to get a machine learning internship. Just to clarify.
Yeah. So,
Shantanu, does that answer your question? I know it was kind of all over the place. All right,
beautiful.
that's good.
Well, anything else?
How basic is our algorithms going to be compared to quant hedge funds? I'm not so conceited to think we'll end up with the best algorithm in the world, but just wondering how far in terms of strategies and stuff we will cover. Well, it's not even going to be near. I'll be very honest with you. These guys are, we're going to teach you, we're going to show you. It's like if I taught you how to add, and then if you asked me, oh, like, what do you do in calculus? That's kind of similar. The quant hedge funds are using insane computers and they have insane coders that are working around the clock to figure out how they can make money. And what we're doing here is just teaching you a couple of the concepts that they may or may not be implementing. So, I mean, they'll appreciate your work,
Yeah.
but that's just about it. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm being honest with you. Anything you do in college is great for our age, and it's not going to carry you until like you're 30 or something.
Unless you're like Zuckerberg, but like he's an outlier.
I mean, then don't participate in the challenge, please.
Anything
Does
else?
anyone,
Guys?
okay, yeah. Does that answer your question? Yeah. It's just a scratch basic level. It'll be interesting enough to engage everyone here, but it's not going to be like advanced enough to show to like to implement as a company. Sounds good. Yeah, we love to see you here. We love to have you. Are there any other questions? You guys can approach us individually as well if you want, or send it through private chat if you feel more comfortable. That's fine with us too.
DM us on GroupMe, Discord, email.
What is
Discord
the
link.
Yeah, Discord link, John?
Let me copy that again. That is it. Any last questions before we log off for the night?
Yeah, I think John and I are